We're starting to enter my absolute favorite time of the year, which is the holidays. And one of the great places to celebrate the holidays this year in Polk County is at the Polk County History Center. Joining me today is Murtis Young, the Historic Preservation Manager at the Polk History Center. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Tina. Love being here. Before
we go into the holidays, let's talk a little bit about the regular events that are happening in November this year.
Okay, great. As you know, we start the month the first Saturday of the month with our Oak Hill Cemetery tour. And this is a tour that complements the Civil War exhibit. And we take our visitors through a walk on the Oak Hill Cemetery to learn a little bit more about the pioneers who are buried there, and particularly focus on those who had a connection to the Civil War. Of course, that includes Jacob Summerlin and Evander Law. So that tour leaves the museum at 11 a.m. on the first Saturday of the month, which happens to be November 1st.
Awesome. And this is the last cemetery tour for the year.
It is, indeed.
It will resume back in January. And then coming up on both November 4th and November 11th is the book club. What are we going over this month?
You know, this is going to be an interesting discussion. Geraldine Brooks authored a book entitled March. And this is just her interpretation of what the perspective of the father that parallels Little Women, Louisa May Alcott's book, Little Women. And this is from the father's perspective, who is absent as being involved in the war.
That is amazing. Okay, and then coming up in November 8th is Family Fun Day. And what are we doing for Veterans Day?
Oh gosh, we're really excited about that. The children, our young learners, are going to craft a remembrance posy, and they're going to learn about Polk County veterans.
All right. And then upcoming on November 13th is the Fort Carroll Historical Marker Ceremony. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Fort Carroll is one of the markers that were installed around 1961, and those markers commemorate the period of time of the Seminole Wars. This particular marker it was installed, or the fort was installed. It was a stockade type fort, and it was installed January 22nd, 1841. The location is just about, it's just a little bit east of Bartow and about a mile north of the Youth Villa property. And that's where that marker is going to be dedicated, and we're going to celebrate and commemorate that particular marker, commemorating that particular time in history.
Okay, and that ceremony will happen at 3 p.m. Again, that is on November 13th. And then, of course, we have our architectural tour scheduled for November 15th, where everybody can kind of learn about the architecture and the neoclassical style of the building. It's always a very exciting event and a chance to really be able to see the beauty of that building. And then my favorite part, we're starting into the holidays, beginning with the Lunch and Learn on November 18th. Tell us about that.
Well, it's going to be presented by Heather McPherson, Pam Brandon, and Katie Farman. And the idea is field to feast recipes. So this is going to be about holiday cooking using Florida recipes, and although we won't actually be serving food, we hope that we're going to excite the palate with some ideas and some discussion about feasting for the holidays.
I love food, so that'll actually be a really interesting time to learn a little bit about some maybe ideas that you can do for your own holiday meal. And then what's exciting is the Festival of Wreaths is about to begin. Why don't you tell us all about that?
The Festival of Wreaths, as you mentioned, is one of it's one of the times I get most excited about being in the museum. We know we provide the wreaths for different organizations, historical groups, or different organizations, private business, to decorate a wreath. And then we place those in the museum, usually about 50, on all the doors and throughout the rotunda. And it is just absolutely amazing what happens when those wreaths go up. That building just comes to life with a feeling of the holidays. And then, of course, people walk in, you can bid on the wreath and take a wreath home for decorating your own home or for a gift.
That sounds great. And the opening night for that is actually scheduled for November 21st. So you have extended hours from 6 to 9 p.m. And they actually have photos with Santa coming up. It's also a part of Bartow's Magic on Main, which is the big lighting event for Bartow. And then you can go into the museum from 7 to 9 and get your pictures taken with Santa.
That's correct. We usually have a lot of interest in that evening, and we have, well, Santa is just magical, isn't he? Santa is just wonderful. So yes, we're going to have photos and just some time in the museum, and it's also a time for everybody to view the wreaths during the period of time that you're having your photo taken. We take the photos, and then they're processed right there, so you leave with your photo that evening.
That sounds like so much fun. I'm gonna have to take my kids down there. Okay, and when is the auction? When does that run?
The auction continues through for the entire month, and it continues through the Saturday of the Christmas parade. And that we close the auction that night, and then the next day we notify everybody. Well, let me back up a second. The Christmas parade is actually on Friday. So following the Christmas parade, we then notify the people who have won the wreaths.
That sounds very exciting. And do people still have time to decorate and donate a wreath?
They do. Up until the week of the Magic on Main event, we receive them all week. We really need them. The Magic on Main event is on the evening, so we need at least to have them by morning that day so we can get the wreath put up.
Awesome. And if they need any more information, of course, they can contact the museum. You can get the wreaths at the museum to decorate. It's always a really fun time. Let's see, what other events do we have coming up in December?
You know, one of the things, if we can go back a second, I want to share a story with our viewing audience today. We mentioned the architectural tour, and we just have the most amazing things that happen in the museum. Just this week, we had a gentleman who came in to visit, and he said that he had actually participated with the architect and the restoration crew when they were restoring the building. And he said, I have a gift for you. So he presented a spoon to me, and he said this spoon was actually located it was in between the wall. Somehow, somewhere during the history of the museum, somebody had placed a spoon inside the wall. And when they were doing the restoration, they located it. And he said, I've had it all this time because I thought it was so interesting to find a spoon. So he brought that to us. So when you come down for the architectural tour, we have a spoon. If it could talk, it probably has a great story. But you can also just use your imagination on how this spoon got placed inside a wall at the museum.
That's what a strange thing to be placed there. Okay, and I think the last holiday event for December will be the Family Fun Day, which is scheduled for December 13th. And what can they look forward to?
Oh, that's going to be a fun day. Making ornaments, infused bead ornaments, and that's just kind of a fun day. I always tell everybody it's very interesting that our young learners come to Family Fun Day and they think they're just coming to play, but Shelley Drummond does such an interesting thing in actually teaching our young learners something about history while they're having fun. And another hint, it is a great time for dads. We're discovering that it's a very frequently, it's our dads or our grandfathers who bring the young learners in for Family Fun Day. I guess that gives mom a chance to finish up some last-minute shopping or doing what she needs to do. So they'll be making ornaments and learning a little bit about pioneer Christmases in Polk County.
Oh, that sounds like such a good time. So that's the holidays at the History Center. In addition to that, we have some new exhibits. Do you want to tell us about the new acquisitions for the museum?
Well, we're still just so thrilled, and we're still celebrating the fact that we have just recently acquired the cane that was donated to Jacob Summerlin on May 12, 1887 by the children of Polk County on the occasion of the placement of the cornerstone of Summerlin Institute. By just a series of amazing circumstances, we acquired the cane, and we have placed that in a permanent exhibit to remind us of the important contribution that Jacob Summerlin made to Polk County. You know, he was, some say, through his philanthropic giving, he is sometimes noted as the father of government, religion, and education in Polk County. So we are thrilled to have that gold handle cane as a permanent exhibit.
And it is such a cool piece. I got to attend the opening last week, and the entire thing was so much fun. It's just another example of the amazing work you guys do at the History Center and educating people and just making it really interesting and being able to make it interactive with the citizens of Polk County.
We just love it. We love telling those stories about early Polk County.
All right. And you also recently acquired a revolver.
We did. This came from the family, Sheriff Logan, who had been appointed sheriff in 1909. This is his handgun that he used during the period of time he was sheriff, and the family decided that it would be interesting to have that on display at museum and share that again with the citizens of Polk County and the visitors of Polk County. So we've just recently put that in display. And then in addition, it seems interesting that that period of time, that early history, walking canes were very, very important. So we also have Spessard Holland's walking cane that is a commemorative cane that places or commemorates his term as governor of the state of Florida. So although that's not on display yet, we have something coming. And in January, we'll have more to talk about Spessard Holland.
That's so exciting. And I just want to thank you for coming today. And it sounds like November and December are going to be such busy times for the museum, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you. We look forward to having everybody come visit us. We have something for everybody, and we invite you to come and spend some time with us.
All right. And for any of these events or information, you can contact the museum. Their telephone number is 863-534-4386. You can also visit them on the web at www.polkhistorycenter.org.